So, I did a thing or two. I injured every starting quarterback in Madden 25. And I also have updated rosters, updated schedules, updated everything. We got it all figured out, okay? But every single starting quarterback on an NFL roster is going to be injured. Now, they're all going to be out for 63 weeks. 63 weeks, in theory, is like a year and 2 weeks. Um, that's kind of how it's counted in football terms as well, because even though it's like, oh, it's only 17 game schedule, weeks that are not football, like once the season ends, still count toward an injury. So just keep that in mind. All these players are in theory only out for a year. 63 weeks sound like a huge thing, but it's not as much because they could still come back the next year. It just, it is what it is. So I also realized that I gave them a random injury. Like, I chose the injury and it says random. They all got CTE. I just gave every single quarterback in the NFL CTE. What does the Saints? Okay, listen, the Saints quarterback sucks so bad, there is no giving their quarterback CTE. Their quarterbacks gave me CTE just trying to go through. And not only that, right? So I got to give Cam Ward CTE. I got to give Will Levis CTE. But here's the problem. The Browns. The Brownies don't have a quote-unquote starting quarterback. End quotes. So, Deshaun Watson has Achilles there, by the way. Kenny Pickett and Shedeur Sanders both got CTE. I feel like though one of those two guys has to be the starter. Maybe it's Joe Flacco, but I feel like it's going to be one of those two guys. So, guys, we're just going to see how this goes. We are going into the NFL with the worst situation possible. There's no starting quarterbacks who are good. And I'm keeping injuries on. Saw my video earlier today, you know why. I feel like it just makes the whole game so much better. Especially given the circumstances of the CTEs. Because if we get some backup quarterbacks getting hurt, might be a gorgeous sight. Because now we're gonna really have some issues. All right, so far Chiefs are 4-0. Who is the Chiefs? Okay, first off, the Chiefs are destroying the league, and I need to know who is their starting quarterback now. Gardner Minshew. I guess it works out very well. When every other quarterback is the equivalent of Gardner Minshew, it works out very well. Because it now is just Andy Reid fighting against nobodies. It's pretty much how this works. They lost to the Raiders 20-6. Oh, did anyone else? Okay, hold up. So, okay, it says 0 weeks, but don't look too far into that. How did Daniel Jones get suspended? The vanilla Michael Vick got suspended for 5 weeks. This is that one weird thing in Madden where this sometimes happens, where players can get suspended or they could leave the game because of personal issues. Yeah. And also, I just realized something. You know how I said 63 weeks? Yeah, here's a fun thing. They're actually going to be out forever. I just realized when you do the CTE injury, they don't come back. So, in theory, if I were to sim 10 years, I think I would be correct here. None of these quarterbacks will come back ever. Because I gave them CTE. So, technically speaking, they're not supposed to come back in the league ever. Fun fact. Who's the best quarterback going into our bye week in the NFL? DTR! Oh, it went to hell. This went to hell in a handbasket. Jake Browning, Davis Mills, Joshua Dobbs, Tyler Huntley, he's cooking. Marcus Mariota, Cooper Rush, Gardner Minshew, Michael Penix. Penis Boy is up there on the list. Now, everyone else is, normal. I'm going to guess MVP race. Aiden O'Connell is number 2. Davis Mills. Cooper Rush, Gardner Minshew, Khalil Mack, Jamar Chase. Yeah, it's going to be won by a non-quarterback. I'm just going to put that one out there. I don't think that's a crazy take to have. It's going to be won by a non-quarterback, 1,000%. All right. I am now very concerned. Can I bring him back? Okay, so it says I can remove him from IR. I'm not going to do that, obviously. That would be cheating. But I wonder, will the CPU be able to do that? I could do that because I'm in control of this. But I don't think well, obviously CPU hasn't done it so far, right? And so if they haven't done it so far, I don't think the CPU can remove it. I think only I can remove them, which is interesting. We also keep having more injuries. We didn't lose our second quarterback yet, but we lost half the team. Starting to realize that I think all these players... I gotta do a video where all the players have 0 injury. Because I'm just realizing now how crazy stupid these injuries are in every circumstance. Alright. Week 5. Week 5. Week 15. Lordy. 2. Bro, 2 more injuries. Alright, we're almost at the playoffs. And the Chiefs also fell apart, by the way. Gardner Minshew was at one point like 5-0 and then just fell off the face of the earth. So, not sure what's going on there, but that's a fun way to end off the season. Gardner Minshew just completely craps the bed. Alright, so the most touchdowns was Josh Dobbs, then Cooper Rush, then Davis Mills. The most interceptions was Tyrod Taylor and Taylor Heineke. Surprised Nathan Peterman didn't come out and, show off here. Rushing yards, actually, I expected a lot more rushing yards, to be honest. With the lack of quarterback play, I expected the rushing totals to be crazy. How many sacks? TJ Watt put up 25.5 sacks. Yeah, that's about right. When you get all backup quarterbacks in there who probably are going to miss the throws half the time, you would assume that that it's going to be really good for other positions. All right, so Kyle McCord was the 3rd in MVP race. Josh Dobbs was 5. DTR was 6. This type of life we're living right now. What's the playoff brackets? The Patriots made the playoffs with Josh Dobbs. The Titans made the playoffs without Will Levis and without Cam Ward. That's an interesting feat. Yeah, this is right around what I expected. I'm actually surprised the Ravens with Cooper Rush is 13-4, man. I guess Derrick Henry does take you a very long way. I mean, for the most part, there's a lot of 10-7 teams. So it's kind of like, hey, we're all kind of the same. And not really at the same time. All right, we had one more injury going into the playoffs. That's about right. All right, so what I want to see now, I want to see, can the CPU take these players off of injury? I don't think they can. But I also want to see, we got Ravens-Bears Super Bowl. What even is this, bro? All right, who's going to win the Super Bowl? Bears or Ravens? The most anticlimactic game ever, 20-7. Cooper Rush was the MVP. Okay, yeah. That's about right. That's about right. All right, so now let's see this, okay? I'm going to sim to the draft, and then we're going to sim to next season. And I want to see, are these quarterbacks still on IR? They should, theoretically speaking, be. Unless the CPU can remove them, and then, in that case, that's kind of scary. Because then I have no control of this league. I want to be a god of this league, okay? So, is Patrick Mahomes back? He is not. Oh, okay. So, none of these quarterbacks can be taken off IR Wait. I'm so confused now. The Giants took their quarterbacks off IR. The Jets took his quarterback. No, wait. Justin Fields was never on IR. Okay, so unless I didn't put any, I might have. Okay, well, Lamar Jackson's on IR still. The Saints, yeah, they sucked. That's why. Okay. Well, hold on. Okay, let me think the process through. The Giants probably got rid of the guys on IR. See, that's another factor that I didn't think about. If the guy's on IR, why would you keep him if he's on IR forever with CTE? Right? If you're on IR forever, why would I keep you? I would just let you go. Like Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston. You know, if he comes back, he's forever on IR. Unless if you cut the guy, maybe they can. So the CPU cannot get rid of someone on IR. Which kind of changes the ball game. Because it's kind of like, you know, like when you're a kid, you got the anthill, you got the magnifying glass. That's me right now, okay? That's where I'm at. I gave half the league CTE, and they can't stop it. They can't prevent it. Okay, this is what is going on right now. This is where we're at, boys. I would go 10 years, but I honestly think they can't get rid of it. So, in theory, it would just be the king of backups, but the new class or the new team that comes in, like with the new rookies, they're just going to be good starters. Look at the AFC East. 8-9 won the division. I think I just destroyed the NFL. I absolutely just destroyed the NFL, guys. This might be a GG moment. Wait, Patrick Mahomes came back. Tyler Huntley's the quarterback. Okay, how did Patrick... Okay, what? Did the Ravens get back Lamar Jackson? They got back Lamar Jackson. And that's actually... I know you might look at those stats and say, oh, did he only play half the year? No, those are typical Lamar Jackson stats. I'm messing around, bro. I'm messing around. Okay, so all the quarterbacks came back. So I can't play God anymore. They all came back in the end. Although Drake May did put up 5,000 yards, so apparently he had a good revenge tour. All right, so that's good to know. The CPU can take them off IR, but I think they can't the year I put them on IR. They could take them off IR the next year. Good to know. See you guys in the next one, though. Peace out.